is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Flags. 30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick and Michael Cindric. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Welcome in. It's a beautiful Wednesday. No rain in sight for the moment. A lot of football on the way. Life's pretty good right now in the sports world. We got a good show for you today. Clark Lee at 4:20. Alabama's play-by-play voice, Chris Stewart at 5 o'clock. He's got big shoes to fill right now with Eli Gold under the weather, and looking forward to having Chris join us. If you've got a Crimson Tide fan in the area, let him know what's coming. Let's call roll. Let's start up on the plateau. Say hello to Coach Watson Brown, sporting the Alabama colors. Well done.
It's more Nebraska. That's not crimson. That's red, George.
Really?
Yeah, you're a little colorblind, but just like you called this gray, that's blonde.
I haven't called it anything.
Oh, yeah, you did. You forget things you say. They just kind of disappear in your thought process. And then it's always poor little old me. I don't ever do anything. And
You're on the offensive early, aren't you?
I have to.
Yeah.
You got me pretty good the last couple of times.
Could be time for another session of Ask Granddad.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. There's no doubt.
So you're feeling good. You played golf today?
No, I did not.
No. Yard work?
Little catching up on yard work.
Good.
Brenda and I were both sick, and then we've had a lot of rain. So a lot of catching up out here on the acreage.
I believe it. Let me check in to my left with Father Ryan's finest, young William Derrick.
William.
Hello, Billy.
I'm great, George.
Anybody call you William?
Not usually. Not
Yeah.
usually. That's the first time I've heard you say it. Didn't expect that.
You've heard Guillermo a couple of times.
Oh, a couple of times.
Yeah. Doing okay?
Oh yeah, George. It's
Okay.
we're right in the thick of it. Good talking to Clark Lee today ahead of the Wake Forest matchup. I know Sam Hartman's back. He's probably not as happy about that, but he looks looks pretty cheerful ahead of the matchup.
Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to hearing from him around 4:20. Let's check in with Terry McCormick, whose Yankees appear to be dying on the vine. Terry, how's it feel?
George, I'm watching them right now. It's 3-3. Aaron Judge hit number 55 today.
God.
So he is a flat-out stud.
Enjoy him while he's there because he's leaving.
He is not leaving. He is a Yankee for life.
You do not know that.
I firmly believe it. The team president came out today and pretty much said as much, that he's, quote, an all-time Yankee.
Whoop-de-doo. Show him the money.
Well,
Who cares whether
the
he's all
Yankees are not tightwads like your franchise, George.
Well, there's some truth to that. Why have we got Watson in the middle? I feel like he's going to lean toward Terry and maybe gang
I'll
up.
move a little closer to Watson. There we go.
Oh, this way.
Watson,
That's beautiful.
We got to see more of the Nebraska shirt there. We got to
Yeah.
we got to get everybody even.
Cornhuskers.
Really, you've always been a big fan.
Yeah, real big. Yeah.
So, Terry, I know you've got a lot of news to share 4 days before the Titans season starts. Where shall we begin?
George, today, believe it or not, the first official injury report. And, that's probably one of Mike Vrabel's least favorite days because he certainly does not like discussing injuries, but the league makes them put out a report on game weeks on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of a normal Sunday game week. Uh, Two players did not practice today. They weren't out there Monday. Both of them are defensive backs. One is Lonnie Johnson. The other is Elijah Molden, who was their nickelback for a good part of last season. And both of them are battling groin injuries. So it remains to be seen if they're going to be able to pick up the pace and get back on the field later in the week. The other guys were listed as limited. One is rookie linebacker Chance Campbell, who figures to be one of their core special teams guys. He was listed as limited with a knee injury. And then backup guard Jamarco Jones was listed as questionable with a triceps injury. So four players on the injury list. Two of them did not practice at all today.
Terry, the Giants are the first opponent, and I think that means we're going to see a healthy Saquon Barkley. And when he is healthy, not that he's to Derrick Henry's level, but he is really good.
Yeah, he is. I was joking with Jim Wyatt today before practice. We were talking about the game starting at 3:25 as opposed to noon, and I said the way both these teams like to run the football, it may be over in 2 hours and 45 minutes because they're going to eat the clock up with Derrick Henry and the Titans and Saquon Barkley and the Giants. Now, obviously, one of those teams probably, unless it's a close game back and forth, somebody's going to fall behind. They're going to have to start throwing the football. But if both teams have their way, they will do it with the running game. Saquon Barkley has been hampered by injuries the last couple of years, not really been the player he was when he first came out of Penn State and kind of took the league by storm at the running back position. But the word is that he is healthier than he's been in a long time. So a healthy Saquon Barkley could be trouble for the Titans defense.
Tell us what you know about how the Titans intend to skin the cat without Harold Landry.
Well, George, they're probably going to wind up using a committee of players. On the unofficial depth chart that they put out, they actually listed Danico Autry, who's a defensive lineman, as the starting outside linebacker opposite Bud Dupree. Now, he practices with the outside linebackers a lot, and he moves inside on the passing downs when they go with a front four. So he may play there some in the early downs off the edge. Then they've got Rashad Weaver, the second-year man from Pittsburgh, who was injured last year, missed most of the season, but he had a great preseason, a great camp. I think those are going to be the two main guys that are probably going to fill those reps. And then Ola Adeni is another guy who carved out a little bit of a role for himself beyond special teams last year. And then one other guy that they just picked up off waivers, he's probably going to fill in on the bottom rung there as far as the depth chart, and that is Derek Tuska, who was picked up off waivers from the Steelers. If he's active, I would look for him to mainly be a special teams contributor.
Let me bring Watson back in here. Watson, you really like Weaver, don't you?
Yeah, I liked him a year ago before he got hurt, and then he tore his knee. Again, it's not going to bother them on early downs because Autry started on early downs last year. And really, Landry and Dupree alternated in and out on the other side. So it's going to show up to me, which I've said this. I thought it was the best four-man rush in long yardage in the NFL last year. That's where it's going to show up. And I don't think there's anybody close to Landry. So it's going to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, the interesting thing too is, George, that Landry played almost 90% of the snaps last year. So this is a guy who's been a workhorse. He's only missed one game in his career. That came his rookie year when he was a backup and a special teams player and played a modest role on the defense. So you're talking about a guy who is an Iron Man as part of this Tennessee defense. And last year they finally put some pieces around him to help him out. I think the biggest thing is not just, who takes care of the production, who takes care of all those snaps that he's played over the last 2 or 3 years.
Terry, if Ryan Tannehill, God forbid, got hurt Sunday, who goes in?
Well, it's obvious. It's Malik Willis.
No,
He's the
no
number 2
question about
quarterback.
it.
No question about it, because Logan Woodside's on the practice squad. So unless they choose to make Logan Woodside a practice squad elevation for this game, it'll be him in street clothes watching Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis in uniform. So it would be Malik Willis's game to finish if Ryan Tannehill were to go out.
Okay, listen, good report as always. We'll do it again tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
Go Yankees.
Let's get him back.
Nobody really.
I'll give you a chance to respond to that. Oh, he's gone.
He just X'd us out, didn't he?
I thought Terry was going to say something.
Well, he knew I
there.
didn't mean it. He knew I absolutely didn't mean it.
That
But in our update, Watson, baseball begins it. So get ready.
Yeah, George, we're starting with a little baseball, but before, let's get to the Justin Tucker team and Sumner Funeral and Cremation. I'll wait for those to stall a little bit. Get these scores out, George. The Mets lead the Pirates right now. Well, they actually went final, 5-1 final. Atlanta trails Oakland 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth.
Now, the reason that's at the start of the update, the Braves around midnight caught the Mets for the first time since opening day. This race has been at times very close, at times not so close. The Mets had as big as a 10.5 game lead, and Atlanta, the bad news is struggling this afternoon out at the Mausoleum in Oakland.
Uh-oh. Watch out.
You didn't see that one?
I did not see that one.
Okay. Is it not on there?
Well, it says Oakland leads the Braves 2-0 right now.
Yeah, that's what I said. The Braves are struggling out in Oakland.
Gotcha. I was sidetracked, George.
Watson, what is he doing?
I'm trying to get to these reads. I
I
mean, you don't even care about the reads.
No, I do care. I do care. You know why I care? It's called paycheck. Oh, yeah. No read, no paycheck.
All right.
Are you all through arguing, or are we going to go on with the show, or what's up here?
Wow.
All right, we got the reads ready here. Finally get to this update. First, the Justin Tucker team. They are proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. The Justin Tucker team, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty. Call them at 615-906-8458. Also, Sumner Funeral and Cremation. They are sharing their family with yours in your time of need, now with 2 convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. Sumner Funeral and Cremation, traditional, affordable, and dignified. Second piece of news here, the lawsuit between Casey Close and Doug Gottlieb has been dropped. Of course, we saw right around the time that kind of the remnants of this situation with Freddie Freeman and the Braves. Doug Gottlieb came out and accused Casey Close. What was the actual wording there, George, that Gottlieb used? I forget what it was on a show, but anyway, the lawsuit has been dropped.
He basically said that the final offer that the Braves made, that Casey Close did not tell Freddie Freeman, and he's had to back off of that and announce that his sources were not as good as he thought.
Gotcha. All right, Zach Wilson will miss 3 weeks for the Jets, and Joe Flacco is going to start in his spot for the first 4 weeks for the Jets. So Joe Flacco getting back at it in the NFL.
Oh, God. Watson.
Jets, Jets.
If you're a Jets fan, what do you have to look forward to?
Joe Willie coming back anytime soon?
Wow. We're going back a ways, aren't we?
Oh, way ways.
And last but not least,
George, Dawson Knox for the Bills has signed a 4-year extension, $53.6 million total, $31 million guaranteed. Good for Dawson Knox. Of course, Brentwood Academy, former Brentwood Academy standout, Nashville native, right? I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
good for Dawson Knox. That's great news.
Watson, this has been a tough few weeks for that family, and I know part of that family pretty well. The Buffalo community has really rallied around Dawson Knox, and I know it's really touched him.
Oh, you get in those situations, George. You hunt friends, and he's had a bunch. So we all know, we've been there. We've had things we've all dealt with. time is the only thing that really heals, and he's going to be okay. And knowing him, the competitor he is, he'll be ready to play tomorrow night. I can tell you that.
Yeah, they, by the way, are a 2.5-point favorite tomorrow night in Los Angeles against the defending Super Bowl champions. After the break, Billy Derrick earlier today caught up with Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee. You will hear that interview when we come back. This is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
We are back Saturday morning. You got to get up early for this one. Vandy and Wake Forest over at First Bank Stadium. Again, 11 in the morning. Wake Forest a year ago, one of the real surprises in college football. 11 victories under Dave Clawson and a Gator Bowl victory and a rout on New Year's Day in that game. Vandy, Obviously, tough sledding a year ago. A 2-0 start this year, wins over Hawaii and Elon, and now they get by far their toughest test. With that in mind, Billy Derrick earlier today sat down with Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee.
Coach, you got an early kick Saturday, 11 o'clock on the SEC Network at First Bank Stadium. That's taken me some getting used to start calling it First Bank Stadium. I don't know about you, but Coach, after Saturday, the game against Elon, what did you learn most about your team after a game where there was probably a lot to learn?
Well, I thought, we started fast. I was pleased with that coming out of the lightning delay. I thought, that took some maturity on our end, and it told me that our formula for the week was correct. We had leads of 21-0, 28-10, and 35-10 in that game. And we need to put the game away. And I feel like we lacked a little bit of competitive maturity where we didn't keep the gas pedal down. And I think we learned about ourselves in that respect, and also that it doesn't matter who you're playing against. If you're not playing at your best, you're going to expose yourself for some counter-punching. And obviously Elon had the fighting spirit, and they were able to put some pressure on us late. And that was too bad. But again, the adversity doesn't happen to us, it's for us. And I thought we were able to work some late game, the 2-minute drive and the failure in the 4-minute drive to end the game. And then the 2 fourth down stops. Those were great learning moments for us. And, we don't always choose how that learning comes, but I was happy to leave the stadium with a win. And just like I knew heading into it, we got a long way to go, and we got to keep growing and getting better.
Coach, you got Wake Forest coming in here to First Bank Stadium on Saturday with Sam Hartman coming back. He's healthy, and obviously great news for him and the program. Does that make it tougher on you guys? I know you talked about this is more of a system offense to defend against. So what is the biggest challenge in facing Wake Forest, especially with their leader back?
Well, I'm happy for Sam. I'm happy for Wake Forest. I think, I was at Wake Forest as an assistant when we were recruiting Sam, and I got to know he and his family well. And, I'm glad to see him healthy. He's a great competitor. We want to play the best at their best. And so this is an opportunity for us. As far as the offense goes, I think Warren Ruggiero, the offensive coordinator, has proven over time that no matter who the signal caller is, he's put together a system that's been impactful and effective. And, our focus needs to be on the stress points of the system, which is as nuanced as some of the triple option programs, just different. This isn't about point limitation for them. It's about how many points can they score. They're an up-tempo operation. They run the slow mesh where it takes patience in the defensive front to make sure that we're not having gaps pried open and runs spitting out vertically. And then they're going to draw you in to that run so that they can find the space on the perimeter, throwing RPOs. And they're really effective at doing that. And so, just like in triple option, we got to have 11 people in there in the proper position with the proper leverage doing their job. And if we don't, then we're going to take on plays and take on water. For us on defense, it's about not allowing explosive touchdowns. It's about making them go the long, hard way and playing really good defense in the red zone. And if we can do that, we're going to have success. And I also feel like all three phases of the game are meant to neutralize that offense. So, our offense maintaining possession of the ball, not creating more opportunities for their offense, and then also finishing drives with 7 points. And then special teams being the bridge between, where we're winning the hidden yardage battle and hopefully putting some pressure on their punt returner who's really good. Those things will be important all in an effort to neutralize the strength of Wake Forest, which is that offense.
There's a lot of similarities between a Wake Forest program in North Carolina and this Vanderbilt program here in Tennessee. What is it like facing a coaching staff and a program that you are so familiar with and you've spent so much time over there? And do you think, as a staff, that prior knowledge helps you guys heading into Saturday?
Look, there's the familiarity is to know kind of the inner workings of how Dave's built that program. I don't know that it necessarily helps us this Saturday. You know, I've gone against in competition, gone against this offense twice. We played them in 2017, 2018, and so, you know, that experience was helpful, kind of seeing what worked and what didn't. But, you know, Dave's 9 years into building this program, and I think what's exciting about that to me is that what he's built there to sustain and the longevity of his time there is similar to what we're looking to accomplish here too. And so, you know, here we are in season 2, in year 2. I was with Dave at Wake Forest in year 3, and we were still forming identity at that point. But it's great to see how far the program's come, how he's been able to sustain success there, and it gives us something to shoot for as we build this program as well. But that all goes out the window on Saturday, and it's about locking horns and competing and having fun, you know, measuring yourself against an opponent.
Mike Wright and the fact that he's a playmaker for you guys, and he allows the offense to flourish, and he's shown that in the first 2 games. So how would you evaluate his performance so far, and also what are some of the ways that you feel like he can take advantage of some more opportunities, because you've also said there's more out there for him?
Well, Mike's been dynamic with the ball in his hand, and whether he's, you know, throwing touchdowns or running touchdowns, you know, he's scored a bunch of them or been responsible for a bunch of them. So we see how the explosive nature of the offense runs through Mike. And anytime you have a quarterback that is dynamic, you're going to put stress on the defense. You know, they have to account for him, and as soon as they start to account for Mike and focus on Mike, you're going to open up space and opportunity for the other 10 players on the field. And so his presence alone makes us better, you know, and he's capitalized on opportunities to make plays here early in the season. For us to find our highest level, he's got to continue to do that. That gets harder, not easier, as you know, we get into the teeth of our schedule, but also as teams kind of identify what our design is. But, you know, in the end, like, consistency to me for Mike is also understanding that he has people around him that he can empower to share that burden. So getting us into good plays, getting us out of bad plays, you know, making the small decisions as a quarterback that he's empowered to make to direct this offense on the field will go a long way in our unit's success. And, you know, he's still a young player, and it's still early in his tenure as a starter, and so those are things that take time and experience. But you know, he's showing growth in those areas. We expect that to continue, and as they continue, he'll continue to be an effective playmaker for us.
Coach, offensively, obviously the defense is going to have some pressure on them defending Wake Forest offense, but offensively for you guys, how do you counteract Wake Forest offense and their high-powered offense to keep that offense off the field and on the sideline?
Yeah, well, it's sustaining drives, and I think with the big takeaway from the second half of the Elon game was a defense that got tired and was poor on conversion downs, allowed drives to sustain and really put ourselves in a tough position. But I think the more concentrated focus there for me is on our lack of drive sustaining on offense. I mean, we had 2 touchdowns in the second half, but we had a number of 3 and outs, and that includes a drive there in the 4-minute offense where we had a chance to end the game. And so we have to sustain drives. That doesn't mean that we have to go 16 plays every time, but the ability to maintain possession of the ball, the ability to grind out some yards on the ground and to keep the clock moving, and then we have to finish drives with 7 points because Wake Forest can score, and the longer we keep that offense on the sideline, the longer we keep their offense on the field and out of the end zone. So again, that goes back to no explosive touchdowns. And then if we can be really good on defense, defending in the red zone, you're positioning your team to have success and a result, and that's going to be the goal.
Coach, SEC Nation coming to town. You got the SEC Network is the channel, 11 a.m. kick. What's the message to the team? Of course, a lot of excitement around this game, a lot of hype. What is your overall message to the guys before this game in the locker room?
We're excited, and we don't believe in making any one game bigger than another, but we also, I want to spend time this week capturing the moment we're in, because we've earned this. You earned the chance to play in these games, and taking advantage of a trip to Hawaii, being able to finish with a win here at home in our first home game early in the season gives you the opportunity to play a top 25 team in your home stadium. It's a great opportunity, and it's something we should have fun with. But for me this week has been about building our process, building our routines around what it means to prepare at a high level. Because ultimately, when the ball's put down on Saturday, you're essentially going to take your preparation and it's going to reveal a performance. And so we have to take the time early to know the opponent, know their strategies, know our strategies. So that when the game comes, we're not focused on the score, we're focused on playing with total effort, and we're focused on executing our strategies to win the game.
Coach, early kick, you said bring your coffee to the bank at First Bank Stadium for Saturday. If there's someone on the fence about trying to determine whether or not they want to come to the game Saturday, why should they come to the game on Saturday?
Well, you're gonna see two exciting programs, and to me, as just someone who enjoys watching competition, if we've learned anything about this team in the first couple of weeks is we can score points. We have a creative offensive style. We have a dynamic quarterback who's making plays. We have a young and unproven team, so we're playing a lot of freshmen, and that's exciting and builds excitement towards the future to see those guys show up on a big stage and have the opportunity to make plays out there. And then obviously you have an established program with a coach that's 9 years into the process that we're going through now. That they also play an exciting brand of football, and to me, it's a no-brainer as a football fan to show up and to take it in and to cheer on the Commodores and get excited about what the future holds for this program. And we're going to show up and we're going to do our level best to compete in a manner that shines pride on our university and our program and all our fan base. So we're thrilled for the opportunity. I hope that people will take advantage and show up. And I've got coffee here in the office, so if they happen to forget it, they can come on up, knock on the door, and come have a cup with me.
That's Clark Lee, head football coach here at Vanderbilt. 11 a.m. kick on the SEC Network at First Bank Stadium. Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
Watson, let's talk about Wake Forest. They have, at least a year ago under Hartman, the weirdest mesh point. And what I mean by that, the quarterback either faking to the running back or going ahead and keeping it. And he keeps that ball out there longer than any team that I've seen. What's the theory behind that?
Well, I think it all adds into the triple option piece. When you're running RPOs, you can do them so quick that nobody reacts and you don't get a good read as a quarterback. When you're running an RPO, George, the quarterback doesn't know what he's going to do with the ball when the ball snaps. He can either hand it off or he's going to throw it somewhere. And it might be two spots that he might throw it to. So I think what Coach Clawson has done is he's slowing the process down, which makes the defense have to react at some point. And when they step up, he'll throw the ball in behind them. Or if nobody steps up, if the linebackers keep hanging, then when he hands the ball off, it's no different than doing it quick or doing it slow. The other thing I think it does is it gives the lineman time to get movement. And there could be a possible hole that the back can see. If you watch close a lot in football, the back will crawl right behind the lineman. He's up too close to him. He can't see, and he kind of bounces off of him and then runs sideways. So Dave, I think, is taking advantage of those two things. I'm starting to see more of it in college football. I'm not seeing it on the NFL level, but there are more people now doing it. I don't think maybe holding as long as Dave's guys do, but I am seeing the slower process on this, quote, as Clark said, this triple option football that they run.
So if you're Vandy this week in practice and you don't see this out of anybody else, what are you working on? What's different about how you work to prepare for that?
I don't think defensively a lot, other than they're going to have to at some point show their hand. And it's going to be up front for our linemen to not get knocked back, because if they get knocked back and then a lineman can come off to a linebacker, George, then that linebacker has to step up and take on the lineman. If the down lineman is holding the double team and the guard or the tackle never comes off on the linebacker, then the linebacker won't step up. He'll sit where he is, which would give him a handoff read. When the linebacker has to step up because the lineman is coming at him, now there's space in behind him, and that's where all those RPOs are thrown. And so it's going to be I am really anxious to watch the defense and offensive fronts for Vanderbilt. I thought that was a weakness Saturday. I didn't see a level of strength against an FCS opponent. Hopefully I'm wrong. And we're going to know Saturday, especially about the defensive front, because Wake Forest is really good at what they do. And the defensive line is the first piece of the puzzle to me, because then the linebackers react from the defensive line, and then the secondary has to react from the defensive line. So great game against a strong offense to see where this defensive front is.
Watson, last thing, I've kind of poo-pooed Mike Wright in the offseason. I didn't think he was a good enough thrower a year ago if you got into third and long. From what you've seen, is he better than maybe I thought he was?
He's throwing the quick passes well right now, meaning you have something quick in the flat, he's accurate. You have a fade route where somebody's just pressing you and all he does is catch it and throw the fade. He's been accurate on those throws. Where I think I still see a struggle where he's got to keep getting better are those high-low passes where he's got to hit a square in or then take it back to a second level if the square in is covered. I haven't seen a real good touch out of him yet on those throws, and not a great sense of timing on those throws. Those throws are really going to come into play as we get into the season, George. Some of the things they're doing, they're running the ball well against these first two opponents. So a lot of the passes are off of these runs, and they're not hard passes to throw, meaning they're not complicated passes. And I think Mike has handled that very well. That's why I think his percentages are up. He threw a fade route right on the money Saturday. Guy jumps off sides. Immediately a receiver will turn it into a fade when they see that. Mike threw it right on the money for a touchdown. So those top throws, I think he's improved on.
Yeah.
George, he really is a strong runner now. He's a better runner than Sam Hartman. He's a strong-legged runner, and he's a bigger kid. So those pieces, he's going to do well all year long. I just don't think they can live and die getting into the SEC with him carrying it 13, 15 times a game. That's going to be a concern to me.
Yeah, Watson's bright. He's more instinctual. He's not reacting as much as he was last year. He's more advanced in that. And there was a throw, Watson. I don't know if you saw it at the game Saturday, middle of the field. It was 3rd and 15. I think he missed receiver wide open. Could have been 50, 60 yards. It was just a little short and in front of him. So Watson's right. If he can shore up some of that intermediate kind of 15, 20-yard throws, this offense gets a little bit better, but I haven't seen it yet. But his running skills, man, I don't know that there's a faster quarterback in the country.
Did you just use instinctual?
Yeah.
On this show?
Yeah.
Watson.
Didn't expect to hear that.
We got to go to Wordwell to figure out.
We're two Vanderbilt men, and we can't even say that word.
we got no clue. After the break, we'll get into the spreads for this week's SEC games, including the largest spread I have ever seen involved with an SEC team. Then at 5 o'clock, we'll talk with Alabama play-by-play voice Chris Stewart. We'll get an update on Eli Gold and his health situation. We're all thinking about him and wishing nothing but the very best for him. And then at 5:20, we'll open up the phones and the texts, and we think we're going to hear from Superman, the Florida State fan who got more national TV time than Mike Norvell. This is Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com. Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 10:45 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
And now back to your regularly scheduled programming following the half-pound hoedown. So
Half-pound hoedown.
I'm waiting for Willie Nelson to come in. Give me a little blue eyes crying in the rain. Okay, let's put up on the screen, Watson, a look at this week's lines in the Southeastern Conference. You know a little bit about App State. You watched them all day long against your brother. Will they score points at College Station?
Not anywhere close to what they scored at home against North Carolina. Not anywhere close. I'd be shocked if they got to 21. I think this line's pretty close.
Yeah. Okay. Game number 2. The Bill Snyder Bowl.
Interesting.
I think this is a toss-up game. I think Missouri's better. I don't know how good Kansas State's going to be. I think this will be a good game, and I think it'll get fairly high scoring, 35-28, something like that. But I think this will be a good game, maybe closer than what it's on there.
Next. Okay. Did you see the story where Bama's band is not going, the $1 million band is not going to Austin? Apparently, Texas gave them seats closer to Texas Tech than they did the football field.
Maybe closer to Tuscaloosa, sounds like. But if that's the case, good for Texas. I mean, I wouldn't want the Alabama band there if that's one way to do it. I'm sure that the favor will be returned if there is a return game, and I'm sure there is. I guess they're going back to Alabama next year. I don't know. I haven't seen the schedules, but one piece down, but I don't think that's going to stop this one. I don't think the band's going to cost them any points.
That's the rat poison Nick Saban needed. Them not letting the band in there.
So, Watson, is there a scenario where Texas can take this into the fourth quarter with a chance?
Yeah, there is. Turnovers. Alabama doesn't play well. If Alabama plays well, this point spread's right, and it could be over late third quarter, early third quarter, something like that. To me, George, I don't think Texas is ready for this, and I will be shocked if it's a close game in the fourth quarter. But if Alabama, this is a loud stadium too. I've been here too, and Austin is a good place to play, and they'll really be into this game, and so it will be a nice atmosphere for Alabama. But I still just think if they play well, this point spread it'll be past this point spread.
What's the over-under on Matthew McConaughey's TV time?
Oh, the only person that gets more TV time is Florida State's Superman.
And we may talk to him.
No, we're going to talk to him at 5:20. Okay, next one. Watson, for all the pub about Arkansas, there were too many times in the game Saturday where KJ Jefferson and that offense didn't get anything done.
And neither did South Carolina. So I think this one personally will be under that. I don't know who wins, but I don't think it'll reach that big a point spread. And I think this will be a lower scoring game. Both offenses kind of underachieved the first time out with well thought of QBs. And one of the two is going to pop out and play better this week, and one of them doesn't. And when the one that doesn't, there's going to then throw up some red flags a little bit. This is a very big game for both of these teams, a very big game for momentum as they get into the season, and an early SEC game. I'm going to look forward to watching this one. I think it's going to be a really good football game.
It's also 11 in the morning. Billy, let's roll.
Another one that's 11 in the morning.
Yes.
I know we talked about this one a little bit earlier, but looking forward to hearing Watson's take on this -13.
High scoring. I'd like to think Vandy could stay underneath it. I think it's understated that the young man Hartman has been hurt. A very big scare, George. I mean, a very big scare to hold him out of all the practices and declare he couldn't play early. And I just think he'll be a little rusty. I don't care how good he is or how mature and how he knows the offense. Their style of stuff is totally quarterback related. And I just think his instincts could be off on a third down here or an accuracy on a ball. I think Vandy stays within this, but I do think it's going to be high scoring.
Next,
we got the Florida Gators welcoming the Kentucky Wildcats to the Swamp. Can they keep this momentum going?
What a game!
This is the best game of the week. This one in South Carolina, to me, are the two best games in the SEC this week. I think Kentucky plays the fool out of them. I'm not predicting win or loss, but I think don't put the Wildcats down now, and everybody, it's the world we live in. You go from rock bottom to the best in the world in one win, and I'm telling you, Florida is better. There is no doubt. Kentucky's been good. Kentucky has beaten them in recent years. Do not count this one out. I think this one is right there. I think it's a flip a coin. I think Kentucky plays with them the whole day.
Every time Kentucky gets counted out, hyping up that no one's talking about Kentucky this week. They're all talking about Richardson in Florida. I'm with you, Watson. Do not fall asleep on the Cats.
Nope. If this was in Lexington, I'd pick them.
Yep.
It's in Gainesville, so that's why I'm not going that far. But if this game was in Lexington, I would pick the Cats.
Be good for your self-esteem.
Yeah, buddy. I need it.
Okay. We got to move.
Up next, Arizona.
Late, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Arizona looked good Saturday.
Watch out, Bulldogs. Watch out. If you're not ready to play, this is one that could sneak up on them. I'm telling you, watch out, Bulldogs. Arizona I saw a little of that, and Arizona looked much better than the last few years. And they will be ready to play and start Mississippi State, that long trip, George, watch out, Bulldogs. They better be ready to play.
Is Sumlin still out there at Arizona?
Who?
No.
Kevin Sumlin?
No. He's gone.
Who's their coach?
No, they hired one of the New England Patriot assistants. I wish I could give you the name.
I don't know the guy, but I thought the team looked different. I thought they played a lot better.
Real quick, let's go.
Yeah, well, that's it, George. I know we talked Tennessee Pitt with Tony yesterday, so I didn't throw that one in there. But yeah, that's it.
That was sort of a what would we call it?
That was
let me throw back at you real quick, you two. What do you think with Pitt and Tennessee?
I think Pitt plays it right to the wire. I think this is going to be a great football game.
Yeah, I think Pitt's a really good team, and I think we all know that. But I do think Tennessee, they learned from last year. They're not going to I just feel like they're a better team. They're a different team. I've got Tennessee, but close. I think it's a good game.
I think it's going to be a real good game, and Tennessee better strap up their helmet because they're not going to beat Pitt if they don't get down in there with them because Pitt's coming at them.
You got to get down and dirty.
100% coming right at them.
Keaton Slovis, he's underrated.
He is very underrated, George, and he's going to get better every week in this offense. He's going to get better every week. I believe in this kid. I think he's a winner. And this game is much tougher than in the summer. This game all of a sudden is tougher than I thought it'd be in the summer. I thought Tennessee would win it good. I'm not going there now.
After the break, we'll get stat of the day. Then we'll be joined by Alabama play-by-play voice Chris Stewart. Looking forward to the visit. You're watching Main Street Media Television. Tell me a little bit about your company.
So One Stop Realty has been around since
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards. We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Well, when it comes to stat of the day, we pulled one out of our rear end yesterday. We got one right. Mitch Trubisky. Wow.
Even though that might have been the second time we asked it.
It may have been. Okay, so let's
get to it.
Let's do our important business and then on to business.
It's almost on to business, George. It's time for Stat of the Day, powered by John English Vintage Sports and Cards. They specialize in antique and historical sports equipment, games, advertising, and other sport-related items. You can visit John English Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 o'clock and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Visit JohnEnglishGradedCards.com. Also, Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. Call Eric at 615-490-7052 or visit rockcastlewealth.com for more information. All right, let's get to the stat of the day. Can you guys make it two in a row here? With 204 career starts, which Major League Baseball pitcher has allowed one run or fewer in 49% of his career starts? That's 101 games.
Okay, Watson, you want me to start the thought process?
Yeah, a little help first. Yeah. Is guy still playing, or is this an older guy?
Yes, he is a current player.
Watson, I believe that I have got it.
Well, go for it, buddy.
But I don't want Billy butting in yet. I want you and I to talk.
I'll mute my mic.
Well, if you got it, throw it out. Let's go.
Come on, be
Hold
confident.
on a second. Hold on. You and I need to talk it through, make an educated deal. Okay. Here's what I think. 204 career starts. That's right at about 7 years of starting rotation stuff. In the old days, you'd get 40 starts a year. Now it's 30 to 32. With that, I believe the answer is Jacob deGrom from the Mets, who has been a stud.
Boom. Got it.
Watson.
We need to keep going with baseball questions, don't we?
Watson.
Yes.
That's the cat daddy. Right there.
I'm telling you rolling, baby.
Here's the thing about deGrom. As good as he has been, he won a Cy Young 2 or 3 years ago with, I believe, 11 victories. It was a ridiculously low total, but baseball obviously knew and felt the guy gets no run support. Now, this year, it's been a little different when he's been healthy, but in most of the years with the Mets, Watson, very little run support.
Yeah, and the other one I would have thought maybe would have been Kershaw. I didn't know, but he's pitched longer. Good job, George.
I'm fired up. Are we now ready for the 5 o'clock hour?
We are, George.
We're official.
It's official.
Okay.
We're into the 5 o'clock hour, and it is powered by Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic. They combine state-of-the-art orthopedic service with a family atmosphere. Whether it's a sports injury, sprained ankle, major joint replacement, Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint has the staff, training, and equipment needed to take care of any patient in any circumstance. Log on to their website. It's mtbj.net for more information.
As a lot of you know, I've been friends with Eli Gold, 35, 40 years, and I'm certainly thinking about Eli right now. Alabama is very fortunate in that they have a second announcer who handles basketball, but he's not somebody they brought out of the bullpen. Chris Stewart is flat out a very good announcer. I have listened to him for years do Alabama basketball. He is filling in right now for Eli Gold, and he joins us from a golf course somewhere in Tuscaloosa. Chris, how are you?
I am fantastic. And George, look, you know, it's plenty good enough to talk to you. I had no idea I was going to get to talk to one of my favorite people on the planet. But Watson Brown, I am sitting at Bent Brook Golf Course where you and I have played some good and bad golf together before. And my 11-year-old is getting a golf lesson as we speak. But, man, is it great to hear your voice.
Chris, I miss you, man. I miss you.
Same here.
We had
Same
some
here.
times, didn't we? We had some times.
Oh, dear Lord. Look, I'm trying to think. As I was watching a few minutes ago, watching the video stream, there were so many things, from me standing in the parking lot with you outside of the Taj Mahal of college football buildings, the one that you used to be in at UAB, where you stood there and told me, you know, we're going to Division I, and just about everybody in Division I has got a sideline guy. And if we're going to be Division I, we ought to look like it and sound like it. And I want you to be my sideline guy. And you created that position for me. And among the opportunities, I'm telling you, if not for Watson Brown and the opportunities he gave me through UAB, I wouldn't be getting to do what I'm doing today. And I'll always be grateful.
Oh, I love you, Chris. And God bless him, George. Being a sideline guy with me is not a blast.
Hey, let me tell you.
I can tell you right now, Chris grew up quickly when he had to handle me on the sideline.
Let me tell you, as y'all know, greatest guy in the world. Ain't nobody better on the planet than Watson Brown. The nice Watson Brown is the only guy I'd ever seen in my life. It's the first ever Division 1A football game for UAB. I'm the sideline guy. We're playing at Auburn. Terry Bowden's the head coach. It's the first half, and if not for a muff snap on a punt, UAB's, I think, going to be tied, or it's going to be a one-score game at halftime. And I don't remember what I said when he came off the field. Okay? But it was fairly innocent. But whatever I said, it was wrong. And he made it clear really fast. So let me tell you, 25 years later, I'm the sideline guy for Alabama football. And my question to Nick Saban only exists of, Coach, your thoughts on the first half. That's it. I'm pulling the pin on the grenade, getting out of the way, baby.
Oh, I love it.
You
remember what the question was?
Heck no.
No, Chris was, I know what philosophically, he was trying to be positive about us, and I'm upset because we might be in the lead or tied at the half if we don't blow it. Didn't we snap a punt over the punt? No, we got one block. That's what it was. And I'm living.
They blocked it on to Tarek, but it was the opposite, Watson, because I said something not negative, but it was more along the lines of, well, it could have been better, or what's the difference? Y'all, the difference in the ball game is we're playing our butts off, and you were actually semi-fired up. And I was like, well, I can't win this. But it was like, so here's the back end of it.
Now back to the studio.
28. Yeah, I'm like 28 years old. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I ain't got a clue. But I've never seen this reaction from him. So I go to practice the next week, which I normally did. But I waited till it was over. And I said, hey, Coach, can I get a minute with you? Sure, babe. What's going on? Puts his arm around me, walk off the field. And I said, hey, I want to apologize. I think I did. So he goes, Chris, what are you talking about, bud? And I said, well, I think I made you mad. He goes, babe, come here. Puts his arm around me. He goes, let me just tell you. In the heat of the moment, ain't no telling. Don't sweat it. You just keep doing what you're doing. We're going to be fine. Yes, sir, Coach. And I never sweated it again.
Chris, I had the
Never
same
sweated it again.
job Watson's first year at Vandy, and we go up to Virginia
I bet
Tech.
that was fun.
We go up to Virginia Tech, and he's pissed off that we're playing there anyway. And at some point in the game, it's not going particularly well. And one group is headed out on the field. The other group is headed off. And so there are very few people on the sideline. He sees me and turns to me and yells, why are we playing these people?
He was Admiral Stockdale all of a sudden. Who am I? Why am I here? Oh gosh.
Oh, this guy
good.
George is one of the best. He is one of the best. I've loved following his career, and he's family. I don't see him much, but he's family. And Chris, congratulations, man, on what all has gone for you. And you can handle Nick Saban if you can handle me. You're in good shape. You've had plenty of experience.
I am battle tested, but it is it's an experience that I would not trade for anything. And George, let me be real clear. The first game I ever did as a sideline reporter that involved Nick Saban, he lost to Watson Brown and UAB. I was doing the television.
How did you handle that
television? I didn't have to talk to him. I was talking to you. That was a whole heck of a lot easier. I was your guy that night on TV. And Josh Booty checks off to a play that ain't in the playbook, apparently. And he throws it right in the chest of one of your DBs. And, man, he kick a field goal. And that was the win there that when he turned around, and I was actually doing the play-by-play on the pay-per-view for television when he lost to Louisiana Monroe as the head coach at Alabama. The Jimmy Johns fumbled with Alabama's going to go in, and Jimmy fumbled, and I was like, oh, I've seen this one before, and it ain't going to be fun. But well, he won a national championship after he lost to UAB. Maybe he'll do it at Alabama. And he's won 6 since then. So it's worked out pretty good. Growing pains, man. But that was a special night. That was a special night for the Blazers. I remember that very well.
Chris, you've been asked this a bunch in the last month. I want to get this out here right off the bat. I have not gotten to talk to Eli. We have exchanged text messages. What can you tell people who are concerned about him?
I can tell you that I talked to him a couple of days ago, and he sounds a lot better. He's making improvement. His wishes and Claudette's, his wife, they're not talking about the illness and publicly and not getting into much detail, but he knows all about the good wishes and the prayer request and the prayers for him and prayers with him that have taken place, and he's very appreciative of it. He's just had a battle, and it's gone on for a number of months. He missed the spring game, and I filled in for him there. And it's been a journey. It's been a grind, but he is improving, and we're hopeful that it's going to get to the point where he can be back this season and take his spot, and I can slide over and not have 6 or 7 interviews on a Wednesday. Don't get me wrong. I've visit with you guys anytime, but it's amazing how much more they want to talk to the play-by-play guy for Alabama than the broadcast host. It's kind of funny how that works out.
You know what? I'm going to remember that. We're going to have you back on when you're the broadcast host. So
that is fine.
You've watched a lot of Alabama football. Is your gut feeling that this is as good as any team Saban has put out there?
Oh, I will, it's hard to do it after week one. I will say and all the stuff that I was doing leading into the year when people are talking about the preseason rankings and all of that, I said, look, I know how those work. I've voted in them before. You've got to pick it based on what you know going in, and knowing what you do going in, from the head coach to the staff to the returning players and the pieces they added to the puzzle. If you've got to put one together in the preseason, I don't know how you start anywhere other than Tuscaloosa. I said, now, my opinion could change entirely after we've seen a week of everybody, but I don't know how you wouldn't pick them number one or very, very close to it going into the season if you've looked at anything relative to who they are and the track record. And I think that's a fair assessment. I think they've got a chance if all the cards fall right as far as injuries. And as we found out last year, that's a big deal. You lose the wrong guys at the wrong time and you can lose a national title. I fully believe that was the case. I'm certainly going to a place in Austin where they still say if Colts hadn't gotten hurt, they feel like they would have won the national title over Alabama in the Rose Bowl. But if things trend as they are, then I think that I'd be more shocked that this team is not in the mix for a championship than I would that they're playing for the whole thing when it wraps up.
Chris, I'm going to ask you one more thing and then turn it over to Watson. Eli told me a story several years ago about how big a fan Nick Saban is of the group, the Eagles. And apparently the Eagles found that out and sent him a bunch of stuff through Eli, and Saban loved it. Tell me something about Saban that I could not possibly know, but you do know.
I'll tell you one from the other. Let me tell you the Eagles, and then I'll tell you this. The first time I ever got the man to actually look at me, I'm the media guest. I'm the media guest. I'm not the host of the show, but I'm the media guest the Thursday night before what's referred to as the blackout game against Georgia in 2008. That was the big game in Athens where they had no Sean Marino. They had Matthew, God, what's his name? NFL quarterback, won a Super Bowl. Stafford, thank you. Stafford's the quarterback, and they're number one or real close to it. And everybody's expecting they're going to wear black jerseys and blow Alabama out. And it's 31-0 Alabama at the half. But that Thursday night before that game, I'm the media guest, which means I ask the first, middle, and last question of the night. My second question of the night to him was, Coach, if we could get away from sports for just a second. You've won a national championship. You're married. You're a father. So outside of family and football, what's the coolest thing you've ever done? He said, wow, I don't know. Now, he's looked out at the crowd and has not turned and looked at me the entire night, okay? He paid – I'm going to say he hadn't paid attention, but he ain't looked at me, okay? He goes, wow, that's tough. I said, I'll tell you what, while you're thinking, I'll give you mine. He goes, all right. I said, I got to sing a verse of My Girl on stage with the Temptations. His head snapped so quick to the left and looked me dead in the eye. And he goes, you're kidding. And I said, nope. I said, I was awful, but it was the coolest thing I've ever done.
I love it.
And so he goes into telling me about his wife stands up and goes, the Eagles. Well, he starts talking about being friends with Belichick and how Belichick is tight with him and getting to be backstage with him. And Tom Roberts was a guy that George, I know you know well, was the host of the show at the time. And he goes, golf with Tiger Woods wasn't bad either, was it? And he goes, oh, yeah. And he starts in. I said, Coach, I said, beat top my story. I didn't say blow it out of the water. So that was that one. The other night, you know how he is. He decides he's going to go deliver a message and he's going to go into a rant. It doesn't happen all the time, but we're wrapping up the radio show the other night and he starts talking about rat poison and he's talking about being where your feet are and not looking past Utah State to Texas. And he said, we need to be at the church of what's happening now. And he goes on and he finishes the deal that had an expletive in it that he apologized for. And then he just turns and looks at me, and I said, "Did you just quote Flip Wilson?" And he looked at me and kind of grinned. He goes, "I tried to." I said, "That's fantastic," because I've got a brother who is his age, 69, 70 years old. And I grew up as a little kid, Flip Wilson show would be on, the variety show. And Flip did this character called Reverend Leroy, and he preached at the church of What's Happening Now. And 50 years later, it paid off. Me watching it, I recognized Nick Saban talking about it. So
love it.
I guess what I'm telling you is he'll slip stuff in every now and then that if you're on your toes, you can catch it. It's really good. If you're not, you may wonder where in the heck he's going with stuff. But I got Flip Wilson in the church of What's Happening Now, and wasn't too bad.
Take it away, Watson.
Chris, I am hurt. I am really, I'm hurt. I'm a big Eagles fan. They ain't come to me and offered anything. I can tell you that. They put Coach Saban in front of me. They put Coach Belichick in front of me. I'm really hurt. You need to take care of that in some way.
Watson, the answer is you're aligned. Watson, you're aligned with me. What do you think they're going to do?
I can help you maybe with the Temptations or the Four Tops. I got nothing for you with the Eagles. I can't help you there.
I never was a Four Tops guy, so you can keep that one, bud.
Oh, man. Standing in the shadows of love. Good night.
Oh, gracious. Chris, you watch them a lot. You've watched them last year. You watched them through the offseason and spring, preseason. Where are your question marks on this team that you need to see Saturday in this big game?
I hope I don't see it, but the thing that I want to know is how do they handle adversity? You got a lot of new pieces to the puzzle. You've got a fantastic lineman who came from Vanderbilt in Tyler Steen. You've got a fantastic running back in Jahmyr Gibbs who wanted to be a part of a program where he could really showcase himself with a full arsenal of weapons. So he leaves Georgia Tech to come to Tuscaloosa. You got Jermaine Burton, who was a part of a national championship team last year at Georgia, but wanted to play with a quarterback who might be able to help him spotlight his skill a little bit more. And by all accounts, everybody has bought in the locker room, and they've been great teammates, and it's been terrific. The question that I have that I hope we don't have to get answered is how do they handle things if it ain't going well? They hadn't been in the trenches with bullets flying at them. It's one thing to be the one doing all the shooting, but when the bullets are turned at you, who's going to fight with you in the foxhole, and who may be looking for cover and ready to head out? So that's something that, to me, I'm curious about. It's not that I've got any reason to think they won't be good teammates, and I'm not just talking about those three guys. I'm talking about collectively. But with the new pieces that are there, when they get into the fourth quarter of a ball game and it's a bloodbath, how are they going to handle that collectively when some very key pieces have not been in that mix and hadn't been through those wars together?
George, one more?
Yeah, go one more.
Okay. Chris, I loved reading what Coach Sark said about being with Coach Saban and what he meant to his career. It's amazing to me that Nick has picked these guys, Lane Kiffin, Loxley. I mean, you've got the same coordinator now that's been through some tough stuff and is back for another year, which I think is a big plus. Not many people are talking about to me. But Nick has done a great job of bringing these guys that are down in that he knows are really good. And he stays on top of everything, and he's hard on them. I know that. But at the same time, he let them go and do their thing. And I just think when he changed his offensive style, Chris, with what he was doing and realized I've got to score more points to win a championship again, and it can't be done on defense the way I've done it in the past. I think that's when he just took off. But I think it was a neat story to read what Steve said and what Lane has said. And it's just a credit to Nick, in my opinion.
You know, it's kind of a running joke, and it's been referred to as the Nick Saban home for wayward coaches, and you can come up with whatever one-liners you want to, but the reality is he's got a heart of gold, but he is truly laser-focused and a winner, and he appreciates guys that he believes in. And if they've had issues, part of it is giving them a second opportunity or a third, but it's also something that he sees in them that he believes can help him or help his program be better and win. I mean, I looked up the other day and I'd totally forgotten he's there. Derek Dooley walks out of the locker room before the game. And holy cow, I'd forgotten he was here. He's one of, you know, Lord only knows how many analysts. I think Todd Grantham is there. There's a bunch of guys, and you're right. Sark has been one of them. I had a very brief one-on-one conversation with him. We ran into each other in the hallway of the team hotel in Fayetteville last year, 2 years ago, I guess it would have been 2 years ago. And just introduced myself and said, hey, Coach, I know you don't know me, but I host Coach's TV show and just want to tell you glad you're here, wish you well. Couldn't have been kinder, couldn't have been more genuine, and was talking about Coach. And I said, look, I know your story. I just want to tell you how happy I am for you, that things are going well for you here and that you're here. And he was really humble and gracious and appreciative. And I don't know that humble is a word that you've heard associated with Lane Kiffin very often. And I don't know that applies. I think he's closer to it than he's ever been in his life or his career from the things that I've observed and heard now that he's at Ole Miss and he's at this stage of his life. But I have no doubt in my mind that he is appreciative of the chance that he's given. And to me, that's one of the things, Watson, that's going to be so amazing when the story is finally written about Nick Saban. The championships, the wins are going to be historic, but the careers that he has impacted either on their way up or to help them get back on their feet is going to be as impressive or as amazing as anything he's accomplished as a head coach in the win-loss column.
Chris, terrific interview. I promise in the next 3-4 weeks, I'm going to get you back on. We might even play the Temptations. I don't care if Watson doesn't like them or not. Fine. You and I have good taste in music.
Here's the only thing I want is a guarantee that sometime next spring or summer, there's a round of golf either in Cookeville or Nashville for the three of us, because that's been way too long.
He has no idea how bad I am.
It doesn't matter. You drive the car.
That's on, Chris. We'll do that, buddy.
All right. I'd love to. I appreciate you more than you know. Really do.
Great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Love you, Chris. See you.
What a great interview. Watson, good for you the way you took care of him.
Oh, George, he's fantastic. I knew it quick. I mean, just like when you were young, I knew how good you were going to be. But isn't that amazing? Both of you all very young did things when I was young. And, of course, I was a little older at UAB. I would have been, 40-something then. But Chris was a near teenager the way he looked. But he was good. He had personality, and he just had that it factor, and it's turned out to be true.
I know we're late, but this was worth doing. We're going to the phones after the break. Can we put the phone number up there really quick? Because I want you all to jump in with your football thoughts. What's on your mind right now? 588-2998. That is our number. First up will be the Florida State Superman. You won't believe where this is headed. This is Main Street Media Television.
This is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. One area I can help with is if you are newly or nearly retired, or maybe have changed jobs and have an old 401k account. You may need more information to help you clearly understand your options. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
Do you love bacon? I mean, do you really love bacon? Who doesn't, right? The 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Fest is coming up Saturday, September 10th. Admission and parking are free. The Bacon Festival will feature live music, food, and craft vendors. And did I say bacon? You can ride a mechanical hog ride. Visit the Kids Zone with free inflatables. There will also be hourly raffles with great prizes and an opportunity to purchase Bacon Festival merchandise. And did I say bacon? Yeah. There will even be a bacon eating contest. Visit the 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Festival Facebook page for all the details.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards. We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Sunday night, I'm sitting down to watch the LSU Florida State game. And right before kickoff, they're showing the two fan bases going nuts and, you know, great atmosphere at the Superdome. And they get to the Florida State part of it. And some of you may have seen this picture of what we'll call the Florida State Superman.
Give me a sec. I thought I had it, George.
Thought you had it, didn't have it. Anyway, this guy, we will get it in a minute, had more airtime than Brian Kelly and Mike Norvell combined. And when you see the picture here in a minute, you're going to know exactly what I'm saying because a bunch of you saw it, but you had no idea. There is the picture. Watson, do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
No.
That's Superman, George.
Oh, it's more than Superman. Watson, that is our intern, Battleground Academy's Butch Samide.
Oh, my gracious.
Of course he went to BGA.
Damn right he did. And you don't see that at Father Ryan.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
No, I'm not. I'm very proud of it. He joins us. He's our first call from Tallahassee, Florida. Superman, how are you?
I'm good, George. Thank you for having me. And Billy, I think I added a decent amount to Florida State student section. And I think Father Ryan could learn a thing or two over my student section enthusiasm.
I will say, Butch, I was watching it live, had some family members around me, and I started cracking up laughing. I said, I know that guy. That's Butch. That's one of our interns. That was crazy. You had more TV time than I ever imagined you would.
Who all has reached out to you since you got all this airtime?
Well, reach out to me. I think the best part of it, I forgot about this. One of Barstool Sports podcasts really took a picture. Like, they had a field day with me. They were posting me. They were like, in case you didn't know, Superman is a Florida State alumni. And I think, he also had a bunch of relatives. My Nana was texting me every time she saw me on TV. Let's see, I'm trying to think of anyone else. A couple old teachers were reaching out. The BGA athletic director reached out. So it was really funny. During the game, I couldn't see it because I don't know if you still have the picture up, but the costume doesn't come with pockets. There's no pockets in it, so someone else is holding my phone. So it was after the game, finally got out of it, that I got to actually check everything. But yeah, it was a great time. It was really fun.
Butch, help us with this. You've made very clear during your internship that you're a big piece of Florida State's cheer squad and all the things they try to do. Is that outfit simply your idea, or is this the best of our best gets to wear this thing?
So I'm with an organization. I'm the vice president of the Knoll Zone, and so we are the official student section of Florida State athletics. And last year it was actually just men's basketball. So I joined the organization as a freshman, and as one of the student section leaders. So they kind of told me last year they're starting to add some costumes to the board. They wanted to see if there were some garnet and gold hazmat suits, because there was still some COVID going on. So they wanted to kind of play off that. And then I was talking to this one other guy on the board, and he was like, yeah, I was thinking like a Florida State Batman. And so then I kind of was talking with him. I was like, if we have a Florida State Batman, we can do a Florida State Superman. And so we kind of got together, and so we made the two different costumes. It was featured a lot on our basketball games, and now finally these other programs are starting to see, whether for better or for worse, they're starting to see me a lot more in that bright red costume.
Apparently, this got Mark Richt's attention.
Yes, so they were breaking down the game on ACC Network, and so you have former coach, he's breaking down all the plays, and it was on if you recall, the first touchdown of the game, it was a reverse flea flicker touchdown that Florida State had scored, and coach is breaking it down, Jordan Travis, great throw, great catch by Pokey Wilson, and as you see, Superman dancing in the crowd as he always does, and then he just kind of moves on with the analysis, and I was like, that is just stone cold killer with that's the first guy that I've seen have just no reaction at all to what I was doing, but I thought it was hilarious.
So tell me about Norvell at the end of the game.
So Norvell, I don't know if it was actually shown on television, but they had like a trophy, which I don't know why they give out trophies on week one, but they had this trophy, So the presentation was right in front of this kind of student section that we were in. And so obviously I was front row, bright red. He looks over at me and, he's confused for a second, but then he just starts to get into a little flex off with me. And so we're both just staring at each other flexing, and then we kind of laughed it off as once again he was handed a week 1 trophy. But yeah, so that was pretty fun too.
Watson, anything you'd like to ask Superman?
No, is he ever Clark Kent? Does he have the glasses like I've got on? And when he goes to class, is he Clark Kent, or does he go back to Butch? Which one is it?
It is actually a little Clark Kent. I do have one class that's in the stadium, Doe Campbell Stadium, and it's one of these kind of bigger lecture hall kind of classrooms. So I'm usually, once I get in there, I got to tell you, there must be a bunch of 4.0 scholars in this class, because I've shown up 15 minutes early and the entire front half of the room is filled up. So I got to actually get my glasses on to actually see the screen. But for the most part, Butch. But I would, whenever there's a Florida State game, definitely Superman comes out.
Butch, last question for you. Are your parents proud?
I don't think anyone loves the costume more than my mom. I think my mom is the biggest Superman fan. Never seen a superhero movie in her life, but probably the biggest Superman fan there is right now.
Love it.
That's great.
Butch, thanks for calling us.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
I want to ask after the break, Tony in Nolensville, hang with us because we will get to you when we come out of the break. I want to say hello to Chris Stewart.
Chris?
I call him Chris Stewart? What in the world? I've got Chris Stewart on my brain.
Oh,
here.
We don't. For some reason, oh, there he is.
There he is.
There's Brian.
His cousin Brian. Brian, have you been called worse?
Just my big ugly mug just popped up on the screen. I'm like, oh, hey, there you go.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I was listening to that caller talk about Norvell, and it literally Watson and everybody just started stuttering, just so I didn't know what had happened. Well, here I am. So, George, how are you, sir?
Good. Would you like to be related to Chris Stewart?
Well, I mean, that's, it just depends the situation, I suppose. I mean, it's, of course, anytime you have anybody to do with Alabama on the show, I'm of course, going to love that. And we had talked about it before. I mean, how crazy the Alabama fans are about Eli Gold. And, he is just, we talked about it too, the hierarchy of Alabama. It's Nick Saban, Eli Gold, and then the governor. That's just the way it is down there. So
you're right. Chris is in a tough position, but I'll tell you this, if anybody can handle it, it's him.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, it would be like, I could almost compare it to if they called me up and said, Brian, George is sick. We need you to fill in. Okay. So, there's just no way you're going to fill George Plaster's shoes. But, the fact that Chris is stepping up in a tough time and, doing what he does, I'm sure Eli is feeling blessed that he has somebody that can kind of pick up the ball and run from where he left off. And Eli will be back sooner than later. That's what we're all praying for.
Let's talk a little one-stop realty. What do you want to tell us?
Well, I want to tell you we've got some new listings. We have a house in Lake Rise subdivision up here in Gallatin, Tennessee. It is hitting the market Friday, coming soon right now. 2005 Choctaw Ridge Drive. And it is just an absolutely gorgeous home. It's a one-level ranch. All your main living area is downstairs. We're asking $545 for it on that. And we've got another listing in the Tower Hill subdivision in Hendersonville. And it is also a main level living home. And it has a 3-car garage. It's all brick and asking $740 on that one. Just a beautiful home. that's what we do, George. We have some fantastic homes that our sellers are selling, and we try to get them out there, get that best price for them, and also help our buyers whenever they come in to help them find their dream home or their dream property. And just like today, we helped a young lady getting her started building her first home. So just some great things happening here at One Stop. And as always, we're proud to be a part of this show, George. Thank you.
Brian, let's do it again tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Will do. Y'all have a great day. Watson, thank y'all.
See you, Brian.
We'll go to the break. Tony in Nolensville will join us next, and then a few text questions as well. This is Main Street Media Television.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. One area I can help with is if you are newly or nearly retired, or maybe have changed jobs and have an old 401k account. You may need more information to help you clearly understand your options. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
Good news from the Bay Area. The Braves have exploded. Looks like they're going to win in Oakland 7-3. bottom of the ninth. The Mets won game one of a doubleheader earlier today in Pittsburgh, 5-1. They play game two tonight. The Mets will either be, it appears, a half game ahead at the end of the night or a half game behind, depending on their final in Pittsburgh. So that'll keep you updated. Tony in Nolensville, welcome in.
Good afternoon, guys. Hello, Mr. Derek. Glad to see you. I've added quite a bit to the show today.
Tony, I appreciate the kind words.
I tell you what, it's good to have some youth on this show.
Watson, I think that was a shot.
I fall into the category of the old guys. Let me say that.
Tony, did I tell you about the old timers bowling event?
Old timers, remember the old timers softball games?
Oh gosh.
Oh man, Watson. A couple of weeks ago, you vehemently spoke negative of Vanderbilt going and playing at NIU in Northern Illinois. However, this weekend, we saw North Carolina play at a mid-major in Appalachian State, which is a good mid-major. We saw North Carolina State go to ECU, a mid-major, a good mid-major. And I think Vanderbilt going up to Northern Illinois, which is a good mid-major, I didn't see no difference in those games, especially after we saw Virginia Tech go to Old Dominion and got hammered. They got hammered. Just can you explain the reasoning, behind that?
Because I'm a coach. And if you ask my brother, if you ask the coach at NC State, they don't want to play those games. And that's the way I look at it as a coach, Tony. I'm not looking at it as the chancellor of Vanderbilt. I'm looking at it as a football coach. And I just feel like
I understand that.
I just feel like that if you're in the SEC and by far the toughest conference in the country, and it ain't even close, in my opinion, top to bottom, and you're going to be playing 8 of those and fixing to be 9, you just don't need to be playing really tough non-conference opponents. I think you need a little help because you're going to get all you want. If you're in another conference, as a coach, I wouldn't be saying that. But as a coach and being in the SEC, you can overdo it if you're not careful.
Is also one of the main one of the Power Fives playing those schools.
I didn't get all that, George. What? I'm sorry, Tony. I didn't get it all.
I just said that you got the ACC, a Power 5 conference, and they were playing mid-majors at their places. The ACC is still a Power 5, but I'm not trying to put you on the spot here. I was just trying to get some explanation.
No, I'm telling you exactly the way
I would like to see. I'm sorry, Watson.
It's the way I feel as a coach. And I can promise you, if you ask the same question in a year to my brother, and you ask the same question to the head coach at NC State, they would tell you, what are we doing this for? There's a difference in playing them at your place and going to their place.
Thinking that at that moment, too.
And both of those could have very easily lost that game.
Let me ask you this. Was that game scheduled before your brother got there?
Yes. It's a 2-for both of these games are 2-for-1s, where North Carolina had out at their place twice and then returned one game to Boone. But I just don't personally think as a coach in the SEC, I'm not talking about the ACC. I think there's a differences, and I'm not getting into that. But when you're in the SEC and you got to line up and play 8 of these,
let me ask you
or
this,
9 of these, I think you better watch out.
Those games being ACC, they stayed in state and played them.
Yes.
If Vanderbilt's going to do this with Northern Illinois, I'd rather see them go play at Memphis or go, play Middle. I'd rather, if they're going to do that, I'd rather see them stay in state and play one of those mid-majors.
And I think that's what North Carolina and NC State did. Yeah.
Well,
and Vanderbilt's played middle at middle, right? And won there. I know.
Yes,
They've
sir.
done that before.
And Middle has won at Vandy a couple of times. Tony, I always thought it was good for both programs when they played each other to start the season. I thought it was a really good way to get them both some pub. One of the games, in fact, I did one of the games on television when Jay Cutler led Vandy down the field at the very end of the game. ESPN joined us in Progress. Watson, I tried to put my name out there about 6 different times. In case you all don't know, I'm George, and the game came down to a blocked field goal. Middle blocked a field goal at the buzzer, and I think the final was like either 17-15 or 18-17, and the place was packed, and I was like, they should do this every year.
I'll agree with that, George, 100%. And that's why I say they could do a rotating basis of 1 year go play at Memphis, the next year have Middle come to their place, and then rotate it to where Memphis would come the following year. They should do this every year, play an in-state mid-major, and I think it bode well for the whole state. I just do, and in both programs.
We're going to give Watson.
I just wanted to hear your answer on that, Watson.
We're going to give Watson the final. We're going to give Watson the final word on this. Tony, I'll let you hear this off air if that's okay.
George, I've got one other thing I was going to throw at you.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw it this past week. We've talked a lot about the portal and all the football stuff. Did you see where Austin Peay's baseball coach, Coach Fanning from Oklahoma State, has went out and signed 28 players from the portal to rebuild Austin Peay's baseball program? And he's gotten players from Vanderbilt, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Virginia, I think Mississippi State. He is going, and he's got 9 holdovers from last year. I was going to get your take on that and let you talk about it. I'm out of here, guys. Great show.
Watson,
talk to you.
You can't tell the players without a scorecard.
It's the way it's going to be now, George, for a long time, man. They've changed intercollegiate athletics. I think that's absolutely what I think you should do. They might play an FCS in-state, play Tennessee Tech, and then have a home and home with Memphis. And I just think there's ways to work the schedule without having to go to a Northern Illinois. That's me as a coach. ADs and coaches don't always think alike. We played Memphis, George. You remember when we played Memphis when I was at Vanderbilt? We were down 21-0.
Oh.
At halftime, I think, and came back and won the game.
And I was on the other side.
Were you that night?
This is the Memphis State Tiger Football Network.
Oh, geez, I hadn't put that together, but I think Tony's right. If you're going to do that, keep it in state. I 100% agree with that.
You had to say that every time. This is the Memphis State Tiger Football Radio.
Well,
Network.
that was the out cue. This is the Memphis State Tiger Football Network.
Okay. You couldn't shorten it at all?
35 years later, I still know the words. Now, on the flip side, nobody down there remembers me. That's probably good. We'll go to break. Plaster's loss of the day when we come back.
Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. One area I can help with is if you are newly or nearly retired, or maybe have changed jobs and have an old 401k account. You may need more information to help you clearly understand your options. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
Welcome back into the George Plasters Show. It's now time for Plasters Bet of the Day, powered by Bart Durham Injury Law. They have aggressively protected the rights of a broad range of victims of car accidents and personal injury in both Tennessee and Kentucky. If you too have seen your life interrupted by an injury on a highway, in a hospital, or at your workplace, let their attorneys do the work fighting for the full financial compensation that you need. Learn more about Bart Durham Injury Law by logging on to bartdurham.com. And George, you've hit below 500. 23 and 24 Tuesday. Last night, it was the Atlanta Braves that just barely lost it for you.
Yeah, I took them minus a run and a half, which gets you better odds. And they ended up winning 10-9. By the way, their game has just gone final at the Mausoleum in Oakland. They rallied from a 2-0 deficit and beat the A's today 7-3. So I was a day early on kind of a blowout. Watson, here is our pick for tonight, and it better work.
Well, George, I've got some news for you. I didn't have a chance to make today's graphic for Bet of the Day.
Really? So does that mean that
you may get a pass, but you can still throw it out there to the people?
Watson,
throw it to them, George. Let's go, man. We got to get you back on track. What you got?
San Diego. You Darvish.
Wow.
San Diego minus 200 versus Arizona. You Darvish on the mound tonight.
Arizona has been, in the last month, one of the better teams going. They have taken off. I don't know what's good. Well, they've gone youth movement, and it appears to be working. But you Darvish is a really good pitcher. San Diego, in my way of thinking, is one of the real disappointments. They go out and get Juan Soto in a trade. Fernando Tatis shows there's a little dog in Fernando Tatis, and I think he has infected that clubhouse. But tonight, they disinfect and they win.
They have been disappointing.
Oh, big time.
I'll get on you when you're winning, but when you're down, I'm not much to get on you. So we need to get this thing turned around.
Let's do it.
Let's get it done tonight.
Tomorrow on the show, we'll head up to the Big Apple, find out about the New York Football Giants. They come in here on Sunday to take on the Titans. Underdog picks at 5 o'clock, so a full menu. Watson, behave. That shirt looks Alabama to me.
Oh, no, Nebraska, bud. You got to get your colors right.
See you tomorrow. Billy, behave until then.
George, good luck with your pick tonight.
And let's continue the half-pound hoedown. This is Main Street Media Television.